Well, hello, Eastern North Carolina. I'm Congressman Don Davis, and I'm proud to represent North Carolina's 1st Congressional District. So often, for those of us who live east of I-95, we can feel left out. We often feel forgotten. But Eastern North Carolina, not today. Please join me, Eastern North Carolina, in giving a warm welcome to our Vice President Kamala Harris. Come on. We have the Vice President in the 252. Our Vice President is in the East on a purpose, with a mission. She's here to share her vision for a new way forward, where every American has the opportunity to live the American dream. Even those of us in Eastern North Carolina, the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead. For anyone that doesn't know, I was born and raised in Eastern North Carolina. My roots grow deep here. This is home. Raised by my grandmother. Working in the fields. And I wanted so badly to serve our country. So I went on eventually and made my way to the United States Air Force Academy. And I served in the United States Air Force. Let's give a hand to all of our veterans here today. But Eastern North Carolina, no matter where I travel, where I've been, Eastern North Carolina was always home, and that's where my heart was. So I couldn't wait to get back home. And what brought me back home was serving as an instructor, teaching national security affairs courses right here at East Carolina University. Go Pirates! And since then, I've had the honor of a lifetime to run for mayor and serve as mayor of my hometown, Snow Hill, North Carolina. To serve in the state senate for 12 years. And now as your member of Congress. To be clear, as a son of Eastern North Carolina, I've thrown my full support behind Kamala Harris for President of the United States. And let me tell you why. I see the same spirit of service in her. I see the same fight in her. She served as a district attorney, attorney general, in the U.S. Senate, now as the Vice President of the United States. And soon to be President of the United States. We got to get rid of that vice thing. But Eastern North Carolina, the stakes are high. This election is the most consequential in our lifetimes. Let me tell you, while the stakes are high, the choice can't be clear. Vice President Harris and Governor Walz are fighting for families right here in eastern North Carolina. They're fighting to lower costs, to protect our freedoms, and they will serve all Americans in eastern North Carolina and beyond, regardless of party. But on the other hand, there are some pretty extreme who are running in support of an extreme agenda, a manifesto, a playbook called Project 2025. Eastern North Carolina, the eyes of the nation are on us. We must stop Project 2025. Eastern North Carolina, are you going to let them make harmful changes to Social Security and Medicare? Are we going to allow them to privatize VA health? Are we going to allow them to privatize, out of all things, the National Weather Services? Are we going to allow them to place limits on reproductive care? Are we going to allow them to abolish the Department of Education? Are we going to allow them to get rid of Head Start? Are we going to allow them to increase mortgage rates? Are we going to allow them to repeal the cap on insulin at $35? Are we going to let them undo the Affordable Care Act? I can tell you what I wanted to say, but I'm not going to say it today. It's Sunday, y'all. Y'all say it. The path to stop Project 25 and the path to the White House comes through eastern North Carolina. Extremists are fighting to raise your taxes, to be clear, to ban abortion, to be clear, and to take away our health care. Extremists are even trying to now politicize the hurricane. We're not going to let them do this to our friends out west. And as your member of Congress, I look forward to working with President Harris to address costs. And we're going to address costs. As your member of Congress, I look forward to working with President Harris to strengthen eastern North Carolina's economy. As your member of Congress, I look forward to working with President Harris to codify Roe versus Wade. As your member of Congress, I look forward to working with President Harris to help our farmers, to help our veterans. And yes, I do believe, working with President Harris, that we can deliver comprehensive immigration reform, securing the border in a humane way. This election boils down to two different visions for our future. Vice President Harris has stood up for working families. She's fought to lower costs and to grow the middle class. She's also fought to bring funds. Love you too, Eastern North Carolina. But President Harris will bring important funds for our HBCUs, like Elizabeth City State University, Viking pride. We'll give some love to the Eagles. But I know the future. I know the future that I'm choosing. And that future is Vice President Harris and Governor Walz. Friends, freedom, freedom. Serving our country, freedom. Freedom is not free. You got to fight for it. You got to fight for it. And every single day between now and November 5th, we have to fight to get people out to the polls. And I believe, my friends, I believe there's so many young girls who are here today. I believe that every young girl in Eastern North Carolina, rural America and beyond, they deserve the ability and the opportunity to look and see themselves through the eyes of someone that looks like them in the most powerful office. So Eastern North Carolina, when we fight, when we fight, when we fight, now hear this one. When we vote, we win. God bless you, Eastern North Carolina. USA, USA, USA.
Hello. Hello, I am Candy Smith, and it is a great honor to represent Greenville and all the people of Pitt and Edgecombe County in District 5. Here in Eastern North Carolina, we know the importance of standing up and helping people when they're in need. Our prayers are with our family and friends in Western North Carolina as they recover from the impacts of Hurricane Helene. Our Vice President Kamala Harris also understands what it means to help people and has been showing up for the people of Western North Carolina. She and President Biden have been essential in helping our state access the critical resources the people need. And she has been coordinating a response that shows us that she understands we need her to be with us for the long run. Here's another thing that I can relate to. Like me, Vice President Harris was raised by a working mom in a middle-class neighborhood. She knows the challenges that many families here in Eastern North Carolina and across the country face because, like us, she's lived them. That's why I know she is serious when she says she's fighting to build an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to compete and succeed, not just the big cities, but also in our rural areas and our small towns like the ones all across the East. You know how else I know Vice President Harris is a fighter that we want back? Because she has had a career that was built on protecting working families. As Attorney General of the largest state in the country, she stood up to big banks and the foreclosure crisis to protect middle-class families, and she won. As a United States Senator, she stood up to Donald Trump when he fought to repeal the Affordable Care Act and rip away the coverage from millions of North Carolinians, and she what? She won. As Vice President, she stood up to insurance companies and Big Pharma and fought to lower the cost of health care and prescription drugs, and she what? And as President, we know that Kamala Harris will continue to stand up for us because that's been her life's work, and from the courthouse to the White House. She's ready to cut taxes for over 100 million working and middle-class Americans by restoring the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit. She knows the pain of skyrocketing housing costs, as we all do, and will take on corporate landlords driving up rents while providing first-time home buyers with up to $25,000 in down payment assistance. Yes, yes. And when it comes to standing up to those who cheat hardworking people, she's leading the charge to ban corporate price gouging on food and groceries. Kamala Harris, she's on our side because she's one of us. Meanwhile, Donald Trump only has concepts of a plan. And the extreme Project 2025 agenda. Trump has vowed to implement what is basically a national sales tax on everyday goods. What that means for you and the average family in North Carolina is nearly $4,000 a year increase in cost. While he raises costs for you, He'll be cutting taxes for the billionaires and the big corporations while at the same time trying to cut Social Security and Medicare. Can you believe that? He's done that every single year he was in office. We're not going to have that again. And here's one more thing that you can be sure of. Kamala Harris trusts women and believes that extremists like Donald Trump She believes that extremists like Donald Trump and Mark Robinson should never come between you and your doctor. Meanwhile, Donald Trump brags about overturning Roe v. Wade, which only put women in danger and drove health care providers out of our state. We all know that North Carolina is going to make a difference in this year's election. But this is so important. I want you to listen carefully. Early voting starts in just 4 days. Right here in North Carolina, 4 days. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to make sure that you are registered to vote. You go to early voting. And if you're not registered, register right there when you are early voting. I need you to get your ballot. I need you to fill out every race on the front of that ballot. And when you're done, hold on, don't take my line. When you're done, it is important that you turn that ballot over, because I like to say, flip it, don't skip it. I want you to flip it because my name is on the back. So Greenville, Pitt County, and everybody here in the East, this election, we're going to turn the page, and together we're going to win North Carolina for Vice President Harris. We're going to win. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, everybody. My name, as they said, is Thomas Remington, and I am a proud sophomore here at East Carolina University. And I think it goes without saying, go Pirates! I grew up here in Greenville in a family that lived paycheck to paycheck, where we bought store brand, fixed things instead of buying new, and we were grateful for what we had. From my time working through high school to now as a student living on my own, I've become keenly aware of the cost of everyday life. And I'm planning for my future, thinking about securing a good-paying job to support myself and to save to buy a house. That's why I am so worried about Donald Trump's Project 2025 agenda. We cannot afford the risk he poses to this country. Experts say that Trump's concepts of a plan could lead to a recession in the first year of his presidency, which definitely isn't the job market that I or my friends want to enter into. They're also warning that he would raise taxes for working folks in North Carolina by nearly $4,000 a year. That would be a huge hit for families like mine. And it doesn't stop there. Economists say that Trump's plans would drastically increase inflation, making everyday necessities like gas and groceries more expensive. Families like mine cannot afford Donald Trump. And young people can't make it in an economy that they've destroyed or a state that will become the poster child for extremism. It's clear that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance don't have ECU students' best interests in mind. Just look, when he came to town for the ECU football game, we lost, and I don't know if you all know this, but he was cheering for App State. If that's not a disqualification, I don't know what is. But luckily for us, there is another path that we can take. Vice President Harris understands the dreams of people like me. She's fighting to put our dreams within reach. The dream of someday owning a home, starting our own business, and protecting our freedom to choose how and when we want to start a family. This is the first presidential election that I'll be eligible to vote in. And I'm excited to support her, because her vision offers the future and offers something that Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans don't, and that is hope. But for now, it's on us to fight for them, to continue to speak out, to organize our communities, and to show up for our families and our futures and our freedoms by casting our votes for Harris Walls at the ballot box starting this Thursday. This Thursday is the first day of early voting in North Carolina, and I can't wait to see you all there. And now the fun part. It is my honor to introduce the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
And it's so wonderful to be back in North Carolina. Thank you all. It is so good. I see you. And thank you. And I want to thank this is an auditorium packed with incredible leaders. And I thank you all for taking the time this Sunday afternoon with all that you have gone on. I thank you. I thank you. Thank you all. I want to also thank State Senator Smith, State Senator Hunt, your next Lieutenant Governor, Congressman Davis, a proud graduate of ECU, and let's elect Josh Stein as your next governor. And he and Governor Cooper are not here today because they've been working around the clock dealing with the hurricane recovery efforts. And we want to always thank them and all the incredible local, state, and federal leaders who have been working together for North Carolina. I was here 8 days ago in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, and since then, of course, another powerful storm, Hurricane Milton, cut a path of destruction through Florida. And our hearts, I know, all of us, and our prayers go out to everyone who's been impacted by these storms. I have spoken to both state and local officials, both Republican and Democrat, to let them know we will be with you every step of the way as you recover. Because in times like this, we stand together as one nation. That is who we are. So, North Carolina, we have 23 days until Election Day. And we are nearing the home stretch. We are nearing the home stretch. Now listen, let me just say, I know we are really excited to see each other. I couldn't be more excited to see everybody here, but I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a tight race until the very end. And we are running as the underdog, so we have some hard work ahead of us, but we like hard work. Hard work is good work. And with your help in 23 days, we will win. We will win. will. We will win. So what we know, and here's why. One of the reasons is that we all know, and we are gathered here together, because we know this election really is about two very different visions for our nation. One, his focused on the past, the other, ours, focused on the future. Ours is a campaign focused on issues that matter, for example, to working families across America, like bringing down the cost of living, investing in small businesses and entrepreneurs. How many small business owners do we have here? Thank you. We are focused on protecting reproductive freedom. We are focused on keeping our nation secure. But none of that is what we hear from Donald Trump. Instead, from him, we are just hearing from that same old tired playbook. He has no plan for how he would address the needs of the American people. He is only focused on himself. And he's not, but here's the thing, North Carolina, and he's not being transparent with the voters. He's not being transparent. So check this out. He refuses to release his medical records. I've done it. Every other presidential candidate in modern era has done it. He is unwilling to do a 60 Minutes interview. Like every other major party candidate has done for more than half a century. He is unwilling to meet for a second debate. And here's the thing, it makes you wonder, why does his staff want him to hide away? One must question, are they afraid that people will see that he is too weak and unstable to lead America? Is that what's going on? So folks, for these reasons and so many more, it is time to turn the page. It is time to turn the page because America is ready to chart a new way forward, ready for a new and optimistic generation of leadership, which is why Democrats, independents, and Republicans are supporting our campaign. Because they and we know we need a president who works for all the American people. And that has been the story of my entire career. I have only ever had one client, the people. As a young courtroom prosecutor, I stood up for women and children against predators. As Attorney General of California, I took on the big banks and delivered $20 billion from middle-class families who faced foreclosure. I stood up for veterans and students being scammed by the big for-profit colleges. I've stood up for workers being cheated out of the wages they were due. Stood up for seniors facing elder abuse. And as president, it is my pledge to you that I will always fight for all the American people. And together, we will build a brighter future for our nation. And that future includes building what I call an opportunity economy, where everyone can compete and have a real chance to succeed. Under my economic plan, we will bring down the cost of housing and help first-time home buyers with a $25,000 down payment assistance. We will expand Medicare to cover home health care for seniors, so more seniors can live at home with dignity, and give more support to the sandwich generation, to those of you who are raising young children and taking care of your parents. And look, I just have to say something about home health care and the need that I know so many people have for help. Look, so when my mother was sick, after she had been diagnosed with cancer, I took care of her. And for those of you who have taken care of somebody who needs that kind of help, it's about trying to cook something that they have a taste for and want to eat. It's about trying to find something that they can wear that is not irritating their skin and is soft enough. It's about trying from time to time to figure out something you can do to just bring a smile to their face or make them laugh, right? It's the work that is about giving folks dignity. But far too many people on this issue of home health care, if you need the support to give that care to your family member, it means either paying down and losing as much as you can to be able to afford to have Medicaid, or having to leave your job, which means cutting off a very important part of your income, just to give people in your life the dignity and the support they deserve. That's why I'm saying we're going to have Medicare cover that home health care to help you. We will lower costs, including on everything from health care to groceries. I will take on corporate price gouging. I've done it before and I'll do it again. I will give a middle-class tax cut to 100 million Americans, including $6,000 during the first year of your child's life, knowing that the vast majority of parents have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources to be able to do it. And so extending the child tax credit to $6,000 to give folks the ability to be able to buy that car seat or that crib in that most fundamental phase of their child's development. So all this to say, I will always put the middle class and working people first. I come from the middle class, and I will never forget where I come from. Now, Donald Trump, well, he has a different plan. Just Google Project 2025. It is a detailed and dangerous blueprint for what he will do if he is elected president. Donald Trump will give billionaires and corporations massive tax cuts, cut Social Security and Medicare, make it easier for companies to deny overtime pay for workers. He would get rid of that $35 cap on insulin for seniors. He would impose what I call a Trump sales tax, a 20% tax on everyday basic necessities, which will cost the average American family $4,000 more a year. And on top of all of this, Donald Trump intends to end the Affordable Care Act. And he has no plan to replace it. Did you see the debate? He has concepts of a plan. So he's going to threaten the health insurance coverage of 45 million people based on a concept? Come on. and take us back to when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. You know where I'm going. Well, we are not going back. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. Because we will move forward. Ours is a fight for the future, and it is a fight for freedom. Like the fundamental freedom of a woman to be able to make decisions about her own body and not have her government telling her what to do. Because we know Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. And now, more than 1 in 3 women in America lives in a state with a Trump abortion ban, including right here in North Carolina. Many of these bans have no exceptions even for rape and incest, which is immoral to tell a survivor of a violation to their body that they have no right to make a decision about what happens to their body next. That's immoral. And let us agree, one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree it shouldn't be the government telling her what to do, not the government. If she chooses, she will talk with her priest, her pastor, her rabbi, her imam, but not the government telling her what to do. And when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. Proudly. And North Carolina, across our nation, I'm telling you, I'm traveling, we are witnessing a full-on assault on other hard-fought, hard-won fundamental freedoms and rights, like the freedom to vote, the freedom to be safe from gun violence, the freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. So much is on the line in this election, and this is not 2016 or 2020. The stakes are even higher because a few months ago, the United States Supreme Court basically told the former president that he would effectively be immune from whatever he does in office. But let's think about that. You know, y'all have heard me say, I do believe Donald Trump is an unserious man. But the effects of him being back in the White House would be brutally serious. Just imagine Donald Trump with no guardrails. He who has vowed, if reelected, he would be a dictator on day one. That he would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies. He has called for the, quote, termination. Wait, hold on, because here's the thing. Let's let the courts handle that, and let's handle November. We'll handle November. How about that? Because listen, here's why, this is what we know. Anybody who wants to be president of the United States, who has called for the, quote, termination of the Constitution of the United States, should never again have the ability to stand behind the seal of the President of the United States. Never again. Never again. And the people who know him best know it. His former national security advisor, 2 of his former defense secretaries, his former chief of staff in the White House, his own vice president, have all warned America Donald Trump is unfit to serve. Or just listen most recently to what we heard General Milley said. General Milley, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs under Donald Trump, it was just reported, he said, quote, "No one has ever been as dangerous to this country," in referring to Donald Trump. Think about that. Think about that. And we can already see the harm he's up to as a candidate. Most recently, spreading disinformation in the wake of natural disasters. Blocking real solutions that would stop drug cartels from crossing the border when he tried to kill and did that border security deal. Because you see, Donald Trump cares more about scaring people, creating fear, running on a problem, instead of what real leaders do, which is to participate in fixing problems. Well, I care about fixing problems. And as President of the United States, I will be focused each and every day on solving problems that affect you and your family. So North Carolina, it all comes down to this. We are here together this Sunday afternoon because we know what is at stake. We are here together this Sunday afternoon because we love our country. We love our country. Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. We love our country. And I do believe it is one of the highest forms of patriotism to then fight for the ideals of our country and to fight to realize the promise of America. The promise of America. So Election Day is in 23 days, and in just 4 days, early voting will begin statewide. Starting Thursday, you can go to the polls and cast your ballot. If you haven't already registered to vote, you could do it right then and there. Register to vote and vote. And so now is the time to make your plan to vote. And if you've not received your ballot in the mail, look for it, because if you have, I would like you to fill it out right away. Please don't wait, because to my friends I say, look, the election is here. The election is here. And remember always that your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power. Is your power. And so, North Carolina, today I then ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it?